Today I'm going to show you how to make some really cute earrings out of UV resin. I've already put on the UV tape and then placed the bezels onto the UV tape. Now, when I use this, I put some sort of paper or something on each end of the tape. It just makes it so much easier to move around so it's not constantly getting stuck to your glove. It just makes it much easier, trust me. So I've already put some UV resin into the bottom of the bezel. And then I'm going to put some of those glitter flakes directly into the UV resin. This, I'm pretty sure, was the blue flakes that I used. And I'm just going to move that all along the edges until all of the resin has reached the edges of the bezel. And this is going to be the background for our earring. Then I'll go ahead and put a little bit more UV resin, still not filling it to the top, so that it will cover all of those glitter flakes and make sure to push them all down so they're not sticking out. They actually get kind of sharp if they're sticking out of the resin, so I much prefer to make sure they're all patted down before I continue to the next step. Once it's all patted down, you're going to go ahead and put it under the UV light for about a minute. Now, I learned a long time ago that it's best to do earrings one at a time when you're using UV resin so it doesn't have as much of a chance of leaking out. You can do it in steps though. So you could do like the background of each earring and then continue on with like the stickers. But I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, do these one at a time mostly. So I found these stickers on Amazon and it's almost like they're a white string attached to a clear sticker paper. And they're really good for using in any type of UV resin earrings. They don't fade at all. And I just put them directly on the glitter flakes that were covered in resin after they were cured, and then put a clear coat of resin on top and cured it again for another minute. So this is going to be the purple glitter flakes that I've already put resin in the bezel and then put those on top, and you're going to do the same thing we did with the blue flakes. And the sticker is a picture of a mermaid tail, which I thought would go beautifully with these sort of iridescent glitter flakes, because they remind me sort of like a mermaid tail. And this is a smaller mermaid tail sticker. And I'm just going to place those right on top of the UV resin we've already cured. And then you'll set those stickers by just adding some more UV resin. You can use this as your doming process on top. There'll only be a little bit of space left on top. Just dome it out, make sure the sticker and all the glitter's covered, and then put your UV light on it for another minute. And then for these, we're actually going to use some dried flowers as the background. And these dried flowers come in a pack, and they're very, the stems are very hard and pointy, so I will tear them up when I'm using them in a bezel into really tiny pieces so that none of those pieces will stick out and poke out of the resin. So that's what I've already done, is I've torn them into little tiny pieces, and they make a really pretty background. Really, any dried flower makes a beautiful background. So instead of using like mica powder or something, you can use these, and it makes it really pretty. So you just cure it under the UV resin lamp, and then this one was really difficult for me to get off because the petals are all separated. So just very gently pull it off, but I still ended up taking one of the petals off on accident on the first try. So just very gently pat it down, and then see how the petal ended up in my finger. But it was really easy just to put it on there with the rest of them because it still had the sticker on the back. And then this is the bigger flower sticker that I used for these, and I'm putting them directly on the UV resin we've already cured. And then we're going to do the same thing we did with our other ones. We're going to put some UV resin on top and put it under the light for another minute. And keep in mind, as you're curing these, they're all in the same position. So the other ones get the UV light continually as you're working. So they're going to be, the top ones, the first one you did, will be more cured than your bottom. So towards the end, you'll want to put those under for a couple more minutes, your newest ones. So very gently move the UV resin to the edges. And this will be your doming effect. It should be slightly overfilled, but not so much that it's going to run over the edges. It's a very thin line of how much resin you can put in. The lighter just helps to cure the bubbles, is what that's doing. Then put it under the UV light for a minute. And this one, I'm actually going to use 2 different color flowers. We're going to use the pink and the green. Again, tearing them into really tiny pieces so none of those are sticking out. And some of them are even a little bit difficult to tear into pieces. If you wanted, you could use like a little pair of scissors as well to make it easier. Then once you do that, just add that right into your resin like we've been doing. And it's mostly green, this one, and then I just added a little tiny of the same color pink we did in the other earring. And I really like how this one turned out. I didn't really have a really nice sticker that would be big enough to fill the earrings, so we actually used 2 little flowers in each of these earrings. Adding the pink with the green just gave it some more dimension and color. So here's the little tiny flower I was telling you about, and it's not quite big enough to fill up the earrings, so I wanted to go ahead and just add 2 in there. And I just did them at a diagonal. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. You can probably hear him growling. He's playing with his bone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the other flower at a diagonal angle and just put it slightly at a diagonal on top of the other one. Just like that. And we'll do that for both earrings, and then we'll put our UV resin on top to seal it off and dome it off. And we'll put it under the UV resin for probably, I would do like 2 or 3 minutes since it's your last one. And just make sure that it's hard and cured all the way before moving on to the next step. I use toothpicks a lot, so you'll notice that I have this thing of toothpicks, and I use it just because it's small and it's a really good tool to use when you're making small earrings. There's lots of different things that you could use. Some people use like silicone things that they can wipe off and use the next time. It's just your preference of what works best for you. So now we can take them off of the UV tape, but what I like to do, see how pretty it turned out? What I like to do is leave them on the, flip them over so the back is showing. And we're going to cure them again. And see how I'm kind of using that paper that I have on the end to fold as I go? It makes it easier so the tape's not sticking to your gloves. I cleaned up a little bit of the mess with the tape. Okay, so just keep on doing that, flipping them over so the back is showing. Sometimes the UV tape will leave a slight residue on it. So you can take alcohol and a Q-tip or something like that to wipe off the back. It'll get the residue right off. But before you do that, go ahead and take your UV lamp and cure that for another minute or 2 until it's completely cured all the way through. To finish these earrings off, it's really simple. I just get packs of jump rings and earring hooks, and you just put the jump ring on and then your earring hook on, and you close it off. It's much easier to do this with 2 pliers. It'll save your fingers, especially if you're doing a bunch of them. I highly recommend using 2 pairs of pliers to finish them off. Just make sure your jump ring is very even when closing them off. I will attach all the things that I've used in this video in my description if you need links to any of the items to find where I got these from. It'll make it easier if you're wanting to make these earrings to see where I got all the things. They're all from Amazon is where they're from. And when you're buying them in bulk, it's a very affordable way to make these earrings. So if you'll notice, these are 2 different color bezels. You can't really tell so much from this angle, but one's gold and one's silver. So you want to make sure that if you have a gold bezel, you're putting the gold jump ring and earring hook on it. If it's silver, put the silver jump ring and earring hook on it. Then once you're done with that, you can put them directly on your display cards, which this is the ones I use. You can get them in a really big pack and they last a long time. And you just put them on your display card, and I get this pack of rubber backings, and I like them so much better than the metal because the metal irritates my ears. So I like to use them. I also think they stay on better personally. So I just get this big old pack. It's really cheap and it lasts forever. And it works when you're making them in bulk. Look how pretty they turned out. I love the background of those glitter flakes. They really do remind you of like a mermaid. So that's perfect for these mermaid tails. They turned out so pretty. That one needs flipped over. There it goes. So pretty. And they really do, when you get them in the light, they shimmer really pretty. And then these are the ones where we did the 2 little flowers. And here's the one with the 1 flower. I think they all turned out so beautifully. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have a ton more resin videos and tutorials on my channel, and I hope that you check those out. It's got a lot of good information. Have a blessed day.